Are you thinking about starting a Lego business in 2025 or 2026 and beyond? Well, take it from me, I have some great tips and some great advice as I've currently been running a business for around 6 years. So, with that being said, let's jump straight into it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Cristo from Stud City. I like to cover Lego deals, Lego sales, Lego reviews, and Lego vlogs, basically the whole realm of around Lego. I've also adapted into kind of a selling platform where we have a shop to, resell Lego and make awesome Lego items to go along with other Lego sets. But in today's video, I wanted to take a step back and kind of answer a lot of your guys' questions that I get so many on in many of my videos. So hopefully I can do the best to kind of explain some of my theories, talk about some of the pricing. Is it worth doing YouTube in 2025? I'm going to try and hit two audiences here. We have our Lego fanatics here, which I warm welcome you guys in, but I also want to hit, maybe some channels that are thinking about doing content creation, maybe around Lego, maybe around something else in the near future. So let's get straight into it. So sticking to the content creation side of things, are Lego videos worth it? Well, I thought I'd showcase some of the analytics from YouTube. Now, I've gotten a lot of comments talking about, hey, Cristo, you get a lot of Lego sets sent over from Lego and you make review videos. You're rolling in the cash. And I feel like that's simply not the case. For example, I'm going to bring up the 2025 Lego August Star Wars wave. Now, this is going to be only for YouTube, not across other platforms. But for the most part, I did a review, a mega review, anticipating that having every single one of the Lego Star Wars August release sets would perform extremely well. It wasn't the case, at least in my eyes. I struggle with review videos. It's something I'm always trying to grow on, and it's a great way of giving feedback to Lego. Anyways, the video did pretty decent, 2,000 something X views, and it generated a total of a little bit less than $9. So when you guys think about this and see some of the analytics, review videos don't pay as much as some of my other videos do because, well, it's not more as an advertised product, I guess. I don't know how advertising works. That's not my specialty, but the cost per advertiser is a lot cheaper than that video versus me actually just discussing Lego deals, which I love and enjoy to do in other videos, right? So that video at 2,000, 2,500 views, whatever it was at $9 might be different from me doing a, Black Friday special deal where it's get the same views and it's worth significantly amount or produces significantly amount more. So in 2024, I had a year of growth on the Stud City channel, and we went from, I think the beginning of the year, we were around 30,000 subscribers. And then by July, we officially cracked 100,000 subscribers. And a lot of those came from YouTube Shorts. Now, YouTube Shorts does not pay anywhere near as far as long form videos, but it was pretty cool to go from a huge subscriber change and put us, on the map. And I feel like a little bit well-deserved for shooting daily content for a little over like 3 years at the time. So I'm really ecstatic for that. I'm so thankful for YouTube Shorts. I love YouTube Shorts and I continue to make them as it's something I really enjoy. But it's just different. Like, subscribers don't equate to money being produced. So if you're thinking about content creation, you're like, I'm just going to make shorts. Well, take that with how you will. I know so many great successful shorts deals that are made, right? Like videos, and they make pretty good money and all that kind of stuff if that's what you're interested in, and great content as well. But I feel like those videos are hard to translate into brand deals, which I'll talk about later if you guys are interested in it. But anyways, going and reflecting into 2024, I'm going to show you my full analytics for uploading a video every single day of the year of 2024. I missed a couple for some very unfortunate personal reasons, but I would say 99% of the time we made a video and posted it every single day. Now, that value is around $18,000. So between like $1,500 and $2,000 a month is how much our YouTube channel generated. And is that worth it? Well, I'm going to tell you guys from just a perspective of a business owner, and not the only business owner of my Lego business, but it is not worth the time in the sense that for the money, right? That $20,000 is not substantial amount of money. It's not enough money for me to live the lifestyle that I live off of. And as far as anybody watching this video, under $18,000 to $20,000 is just not enough for YouTube revenue. Sure, there's other platforms that I personally run that take so much more time, and there's more money to be made, or you deal with some brand deals and all that kind of stuff. But that generated ad revenue from YouTube is not enough to support a family, live the life you want to live. Like, it is just not enough. Even buy the Lego that you want to buy, right? Like, that is not going to take you a long ways. I'm very fortunate to be in a position where, I worked full time for, 3 years or so. And, we had great income, me and Georgiana, and then I started a couple other businesses that, thankfully have done well and to replace that income. And I've always said this, but YouTube is something I do full time, right? Because I love it. It's a hobby and a lifestyle that I personally love, but it is not the breadwinner to able to support the life and my family, right? And I think that's a huge thing. And of course, I've taken it seriously, and I've continued to take it seriously day in and day out. And every day we progress forward, I continue to make it more serious. And the goal in one day is to be just completely full-time Lego YouTuber. I think that would be an absolute dream, but it's just simply not paying enough in ad revenue and all that kind of stuff to support that lifestyle. And that's okay. And everybody wants different things. You could take that and shape it into what you want to be in the future. And I think it's just worthwhile to mention that if you're thinking about being a full-time content creator, understand that ad revenue is, well, it's dependent on views, it's dependent on engagement, it's dependent on so many things. And of course, it's tough. I feel like a lot of people are always trying to do content creation, whether from a hobbyist or a business side of things, so you always have competition.
I also know I'm going to get the comment saying, well, Cristo, you worked a great full-time job. You had an engineering degree. Why did you give that up to pursue full-time content creation, maybe even the struggles of running your own other businesses and literally working 24/7 rather than just work 9 to 5? And I think that's a valid question and a great question, and probably one you have if you're thinking about quitting your 9 to 5. And the truth of the answer is, in short, I wasn't happy. I worked on my 9 to 5 for 3 years. I love the company that I work for. I praise them. I talk to them still to this day. And I love everybody that I worked with for the most part. But the real underlying issue was I wasn't happy what I was doing. Lego brings me happiness. Working with other content creators brings me happiness. Getting people Lego deals brings me happiness. These are the things I enjoy in life. And it took me 3 years to realize that. And trust me, I stuck around those 3 years as long as I can to bankroll as much as I can. And, I think I did that as best as I could. But at the end of the day, I had lost my mom early in 2024, and it devastated me. And it still does till today. Again, pulling into a little bit of a vulnerability here. But I saw life so much different after that, as it just finally hit me. It truthfully said, life's not fair, tomorrow's not promised, and nobody's coming to save you. I lost the most important person to me. Nobody was coming to save me. So what am I waiting for? What am I going to wait and do this job for the rest of my life even though I don't love it? Why not? Why settle? The seek for more just outweighed me staying in that position. And it finally gave me the push. So again, a massive thank you to my mom for, again, teaching me, I guess, one final excruciating life lesson to take the leap of faith, chase that end goal that you want. And, it's been a literal journey every single day since. Now, I'm not going to tell you every day was great. I'm not going to tell you every day was bad. And you know what? I'm very fortunate to say there's been more good days than bad days. And hopefully you can pursue that too. And hopefully you don't have to deal with some of the things that I dealt with for you to come to that conclusion.
By all means, this is not a flex, not saying, oh my gosh, I made X amount of money on YouTube. That's not the purpose. I've just gotten so many questions, and I've always been very transparent and very open about some of the lifestyle choices that I've made, and transparent in some of the things that we do. And I just wanted to show you guys, because I feel like I've been getting way too many comments talking about this. And if you saw the numbers, I think you'd probably answer it for yourself that YouTube does not pay you $1 million, right? Maybe some creators, and I know many creators that are making buku bucks, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month. That's simply not me. Now, trust me, I wish I was in that position. Sure, that's something to look forward and work towards. But at this point in time, it's not the case. I know these are 2024 analytics, and the channel's done substantially better in 2025, and it's done better exponentially every single year, and maybe we'll get there, and of course that's the goal. But if you're thinking about content creation, this is what it takes, right? It's like the snowball effect. You start making videos and it just gradually goes up and up and up, and hopefully never plateaus, right? I've never reached that plateau part, and hopefully we can continue doing that. And I still love making videos, but this is why I wanted to get to the most important part of today's video. I love Stud City. I love the Stud City channels. I love the Instagram. I love the TikTok. I love the Discord. And I love, most importantly, the YouTube. And regardless of how much income it made, regardless if it made money, I started doing YouTube for free. I started there. It doesn't change anything. I love doing YouTube. Now, trust me, if you took away, ad revenue right now, or hey, all right, you're not liable to monetize, I would question it, be like, okay, is this the best use of my time now? Because I have bills and a family to feed and all that kind of stuff. So Of course, that plays a little bit of a factor in a rolling now, but trust me, like I said, it's not enough money to live a full-time life on. Again, if you're asking about my other businesses and stuff, I own a bunch of real estate that I started buying at a very young age. Very fortunate when I started. I didn't have anything from family. Nothing got gifted to me. I literally worked that all on my own, so please don't say anything like that. If you want to learn more about that, I'm currently working on a book where you could read some of the story on how my life progressed, and it's, I think, really interesting and cool. But anyways, that's not the focus of today's video. Again, thinking about content creation, thinking about where you want to go in life with content creation. It's fun, it's thrilling, it's exhilarating, but it's not for the weak. I feel like many of you think it's just, oh, Krista puts in an hour every day. No, I think my schedule, and this is something I really want to talk about because I always get this question too, is what does your schedule look like? And it's dependent on the time of the year. It's dependent on my wife. I literally cater my schedule to my wife. If she's like, I want to go, like I think in 2024 we took 2 to 3 months we went traveling the world, right? We went to Europe for to visit some of my family for almost a month, and then we went to Asia for 2.5 over 2 months or whatever it was. I mean, that's 3 months out of the year, and granted, I'm very fortunate. I could still have income with some of my other businesses, and still do Stud City, which is the thing I love to do, and it was just great. And I catered my schedule to her and catered around doing that, taking like a leap of faith and all that kind of stuff. The same thing in 2025. We took a whole 2.5 months going to visit family in Greece and enjoying life a little bit. And I'm very fortunate to do Stud City, and obviously it's not substantial amount of income, but I still love it, and that's what I enjoy doing, where my time is being spent. I think that's more powerful than the dollars being brought in. It's almost kind of crazy to reflect and think about, but when you're talking about my schedule, you're saying, well, how many hours are you putting in on Stud City versus your other stuff? I put very limited hours on my other businesses. My real estate, I'll probably allocate maybe 3 hours a week, if that. 3 hours a week, and it generates 85% of my income, which is substantial. And Stud City probably managing a very small portion of that. But I spent a lot of time on Stud City. I feel like Stud City content and all the social media platforms, responding to emails, comments, doing the shop. The shop, of course, is expanding now, and that is a different entity. But anyways, the mornings wake up, like my schedule right now is a little bit different. I've been getting up a little bit later. It's normally like 8 o'clock. I usually go for a run, maybe about an hour, take Stella, dog, for a walk, run. Then we're shooting videos. Georgiana is now working in her school system, which is great. She hasn't worked in the last 6 months, but she's excited to be back, and I'm happy for her. But I have some time to myself, and what I love to do is make videos and build some Lego to review and all that kind of stuff, and it's been really enjoyable. So basically, I'll just work on videos throughout the entire day. It's literally a grind. Then Georgiana comes home. I'll spend maybe an hour before she comes home. I'll start dinner. Like I'll start cooking for her, and then I'll hang out with her for an hour or two, and then she's pretty much like, all right, I'm going to bed. We both read a little bit, and then she goes to bed, and then I put in the night shift, and so basically she's in bed 9-10 o'clock. From 9-10 o'clock, trust me when I say this, I am literally working, grinding, emails, content, prepping live streams, prepping the shop, prepping everything, and it's literally from 10 p.m. and I usually get done around 1:30 to 3 in the morning. Is typically when I look at the microphone, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 2 a.m. It's probably time to go to bed. So when I say this, a lot of people think, oh, it's you got so many luxuries. I'm very fortunate. I'm very luxurious in my own ways, but it's not meant for everybody. And when I say that is, in a normal job, in a 9-to-5 job, you wake up, you know what to expect. From 9 to 5, you go to work, you get to do the things you love if you love that job, and you get an expected paycheck at the end of the day. When you're an entrepreneur, when you're in this business, content creation, or some of the other businesses that you run, you don't know where your next meal is, right? I always say that. You don't know where your next dollar is, and it's kind of interesting, right? So it's definitely for the strong. It'll whittle out the weak pretty quickly, because you really have to have, emergency funds. You have to have just, take risks and kind of, try to set things up to kind of automate. But with that being said, it's been a journey, and I'm very fortunate to, work with Lego in the Lego Ambassador Program that's unlocked so many other resources, most importantly, opportunity, and other platforms. Like we're starting off on eBay, where we're going to live sell and, sell some more Lego. And I think that's a great opportunity to bring in more revenue, do the thing I love, and of course, expand the Stud City channels. So anyways, if you're thinking about starting a social media platform, hopefully you learn from some of my experiences that we discussed in today's video. If you want more content like this, make sure to drop a comment so I could be sure to answer more questions and talk more about this in future videos. I know this is not a traditional video, but I think it's one worth discussing and talking about. I think there's just a lot of misconception, and it's hard. This is the tough topic to discuss, right? People are always scared to talk about wages. People are always scared to talk about their lifestyle, their habits, etc., right? This is a very vulnerable video. I'm very open. I'm being very vulnerable, right? Talking about, I showing you how much money I made on YouTube in 2024. Like, that is significant. You could probably project what 2025 is given on the views, right? Like, I feel like a quick Google search, you could figure that out if you really wanted to. Granted, I'm very fortunate. We have, that does not include some of the affiliate marketing links. Like, we now have affiliate with Lego, we have an affiliate with Amazon. It's not a substantial amount of money, but it's helpful, right? So when I say to you, and I ask you guys, and I pin a post, right, when I'm like, hey, if you're shopping at Lego today and you're going to buy Lego anyways, use our affiliate link. You have no idea how much it helps the channel and help fund, some of the costs for a new camera, a new phone for shooting, recording videos, vlogging, whatever, new microphone. You have no idea. So anyways, that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you so much for all the support. It means the world to me. Hopefully this didn't come off as, progressive or like, oh, look at me. No, it's not. If anything, I think it was the opposite. I think I just put myself way down. Like, it's a tough dog world out there. Content creation is not for everybody, and hopefully you learn something about it in the future. And if you're thinking about going into the Lego space, well, Lego's been an awesome content creation. It's opened so many doors because, well, you love Lego, I love Lego, and we connect. We have something to confide in together. We have a common ground, and that could lead into other things. So anyways, that's going to wrap up today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like today's video so I know you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.